Hey, it's Melissa from the Young Adult Department at the Main Library, and I'm here today to talk about books I can't wait to read this summer, and I can't wait to share with you. So, summer is such a great time to catch up on all the books that are on your to-be-read list, and let's get started with some that are on mine. First up is While I Was Away by Waka T. Brown. So this is Waka's own story. It is when she was 12 years old, her mom was like, "You've lost touch with your Japanese culture, your heritage, what's going on? You can barely speak the language. That's it. We're sending you back to spend some time with your grandmother." So she ends up heading over to Japan and spending time to really reconnect with that part of herself, part of her culture, part of her family. She goes from being the smartest kid at school to feeling like she is the least smartest kid in her class. She's having to really work on remembering and using the language. It's just a great story of how you lose yourself to find yourself. It reminds me of Almost American Girl by Robin Ha. This is not a graphic novel. It is, prose book. So definitely check this out. While I Was Away, Waka T. Brown. Next on the list is Muted by Tammy Charles. And this is the story of Denver. And Denver's big dream is to get out of her small town and make it as a recording artist. And then it seems like this is going to happen because her and her two friends catch the eye of Mercury Ellis, Merc, who is the biggest recording artist of the time. And he's like, "We're going to make you stars." And so they're like, "Yeah, we did it. We're going to do it." But then they notice that their dreams are slowly being taken away and it's being replaced by Merc's dreams. And it's the big question of how far are you going to go? How far are you going to lose yourself to, to accomplish your dreams? And what if they're not your dreams anymore? This reminded me of Grown by Tiffany Jackson. So if you read that last year and you loved it, check out Muted. It's in verse, which I love books in verse. They're really great. And I think really beautiful ways to tell a story. So Muted by Tammy Charles. Next up is a graphic novel, and this is My Last Summer with Cass, and this is by Mark Crilly. Megan and Cass were best friends even though they didn't live in the same state. They would spend summers up at a cabin on a lake in Michigan, and they would just dive into the art world. That was their connection. They were both incredible artists. Life happens and they stop going to the lake, but they still remain friends. And it's senior year, and Megan's I'm trapped in suburbia, get me out, and somehow convinces her parents to let her spend 3 weeks in Brooklyn with Cass and her mom. Once in Brooklyn, Megan is like, "Yes, I need to live this artist's life." She's experiencing new things. She's letting go of her inhibitions and drawing things that she never thought she would draw, and just really connecting with her artist soul and self. But then a fight between the friends happens, and it's a question of how far are you going to go to forgive someone? I love friendship stories. So this is a great story about friendship, and it shows how friendships can be imperfect and that we make mistakes, but we also have to look after ourselves too. So definitely check out Mark Crilly's My Last Summer with Cass. It made me jealous of my lack of artistic ability too. The pictures are really wonderful too. Let me show you some of those. Okay, on to Bruised by Tanya Bodaju. So Daya is really struggling. Both of her parents died in an accident. And so to help her cope, she has turned to loving bruises because they kind of show what she's feeling. They're her comfort almost. And so when she hears about a roller derby team that's looking for players, she's like, "This is it. Roller derby, how many bruises am I going to be able to get? This is amazing." Except that she's not really big on team sports and the rules are kind of confusing, and she's like, "Why am I doing this again?" Turns out that her roller derby team actually becomes almost like her family. The friends become really strong and they help her heal. They help her deal with the losses that she's going through. It's a great story of hope and loss and grief and love, all of the emotions. So Bruised, Tanya Bodaju. I loved the movie Whip It, so I am always willing to or wanting to read more of roller derby worlds. Our final book is Early Departures, and this is by Justin A. Reynolds. I loved his debut novel, Opposite of Always, and so this is another story where there's like a weird twist. Q and Jamal used to be best friends, like the best of friends, and I say used to because Q blames Jamal for his parents' death. But then one night or day, Jamal actually saves Q's life. He was drowning and he rescued him and gets him to the hospital, only for him to die at the hospital. Except there's this like really cool healthcare advancement technology where Q gets to be reanimated, and he is like the same person. His personality's there. He is still Q, except that this reanimation isn't permanent. It's got like a short time on it. So Jamal makes it his mission to repair his friendship, but also to find a way to save Q's life permanently. So Justin Reynolds just does a really great job with like building great characters, and you want to like learn all about them, but then he throws in these really fun quirks and twists. So definitely check out Early Departures. Let us know what you're reading this summer, and don't forget to read, log, and win through our summer reading program. If you need any recommendations, definitely stop by your local library. We're always here to help, and we can't wait to hear what you're reading this summer.